I really wanted to come here to speak about a few things that excites me a lot, but I need to speak about the mistakes from yesterday. First, let's talk about perfection. What did I mean about that? In that moment, I was hinting towards the perfection that is always here, everywhere present. However, we tend to miss that perfection by chasing something or regretting something. And through being present, we start to notice those details. They are the reminders that everything is exactly how it's supposed to be right now. And yeah, that's one way to look at it. There's many ways to look at yesterday's video, and that's what I realized when I put it on private, put it on public. I can live with it as long as I make this clear. The only reason I went as an exchange student was not baton twirling. That was the 90%. The other 10% came from when I was 7, and we had an exchange student at home from Turkey, and that's how I knew that it sounds so exciting and I would love to do that when I grow up. So she planted the seed in me, and baton twirling watered my seed. That's more of an accurate picture of what actually happened. And since we're in a Mercury in retrograde, I think it's amazing that we're still doing this, because that means if you are superstitious like me, things will only get better. Because I could easily gloss over many things, and I feel like a nervous part of me wanted to do that last video. But I'll say this. Excitement is excitement. If it's about a book, or if it's about clothes, if it's about a burger, if it's about fishing, politics, excitement is true excitement. True excitement is true excitement. And sometimes we fail to recognize it in other people if we don't share the same passion, and that's totally okay. But I will not be okay with judging my little self that got me here, because yeah, she was excited. For example, Paris. I only learned after that there are some powerful ley lines crossing, and that the area beneath Notre Dame, it is like a chakra point for planet Earth. I didn't know this, but it explains many things, and Paris will always be Paris. It's one of those things that are simply undeniable. From my then parents' point of view, it was a tourist mecca, overpriced and dirty, and that was their perspective. And to some extent that might be true, but for other people again, Paris is a fairy tale, and it always will be. Whether you agree with that or not. I actually met one of my best friends from France just sitting at McDonald's cafe, so you never know what you open up to receiving when following something stupid. So that's all I'm going to say about that. One more thing about last night, it wasn't a night video, that I felt like, man, when I said about the manager, only me is going to care about this, but it was his mom. Yes, I laughed because when I read that, I felt it to be so much bigger than it turned out to be. She's like the cutest mom, baton twirling mom. She's like watching over everyone, and she took me into her house and a golden nugget. And yeah, some fairy tales can only be understood through living them, and Japan was one of them, definitely. And I'm going to leave yesterday's video up because I have good friends, and this is, as I said, a practice ground, so it was never perfect, and it's never going to be perfect. And let's read a poem. Dypt I det røde mørket. Danmarks ånd. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know what it was I was actually going to speak about today, because we're done. Yesterday's yesterday. Tomorrow's a mystery. And yeah, I'm walking around the bush. Skip to the good part. AI music. I can totally understand the critics. I have to say thank you to this instrument that allowed me to experience music in a totally new way. I would never have experienced music if it wasn't because of AI in the same way. That is powerful. I have no idea if I'm going to cut this part out, but let's start with the story. So months back, saw this show. It was called We Will Rock You. Cool, I want to go. Read what it's about. No, this is not worth my money. I don't know if it ended up being worth the money. It was about a future where music was watered down with bad AI music. That's a potential future. If you love music, why the hell are you hating on more music? It doesn't make sense. Does it? But I was worried about this myself when I started, because this is pure magic. What's the future of this? Where is this going? Had a long talk with my ChatGPT, and she explained, like, you know, when the camera came, there were a lot of critics, like and some painters were afraid that it would compete with that. The only thing cameras did was to give more people access to express themselves through photography. Same like AI music is doing today, but it's true. With the cameras in our pockets at all times, there will be many bad photos. There will be an ocean of photos. The good ones, however, they're always going to stand out. And if every single person on the planet Earth was making 10 songs every day, I don't think there would be no competition. She just meant that when we are ourselves, we're not competing with anyone. Your expression will forever be your expression. There is no limit to how many songs can be produced. And also, there is no right or wrong to what's a good music, what's a bad music. a robot or a machine, something inhuman, can that ever compete with raw talent from a human body? I don't think so. That is what makes it even more fascinating. I had this friend, he showed me a new side of music. Okay, I have more friends that have done that, but let's take this first one. Musical talent, puts on a beat, start freestyling, and the words just flows out. Where did that come from? It's pure magic, and you had no script, and this is an amazing song. That is possible. He didn't work hard, he didn't spend hours, he didn't reminiscent, he didn't lose his power, he just allowed himself, he opened up himself for the music to flow through him. Many of us have been conditioned to, the harder we work, the more value in what we put out. What I've learned is that the more struggle you put into something, the more you lower the original vibration of that expression. And take, for example, Sia, the greatest female artist I know right now. She's exactly the same. She's just a receiver. She's an amazing receiver. It's like a channel for music. And that blows my mind. When you receive a song, it's not just for you. It's in the field, it's for everyone. And imagine all the songs that would never have been catched if it wasn't for AI. Which is why I'm extremely grateful that I get to be part of catching songs that could might have been missed if I wasn't there in that moment. When you start to think about the potential, about the amount of music possible, the variations, that's when you realize there's something beyond human in this. So I don't know about a single artist or group that has claimed the ownership. I hope that music always gets to live its own life, and that we, instead of trying to control it or judge it or box it, that we become simple witnesses for it. Today I will do an attempt at making a song for real artists, because such an amazing respect for antennas that can catch this without an app. I actually did have more excitement for this topic, but I felt a little shy in front of this camera. And it comes back to the fact that it can't be, there's a reason we have music. We can say there's a reason we have it.